My name is Sofia Martinez. I'm 28 years old, living in Los Angeles, and I work as a fashion designer. I run my own boutique, and my designs have started gaining recognition among the city's elite. People often describe me as ambitious, creative, and confident, but my family has always had a different view of me. It all began on what should have been a perfectly normal Sunday evening. My parents had invited me over for a family dinner. For as long as I could remember, family dinners were never really about family. They were about control, judgment, and subtle competition, especially with my younger brother, Daniel, who always seemed to be the golden child. I arrived at their Beverly Hills mansion wearing a sleek silk dress of my own design, confident but cautious. I had just finished a major order for a celebrity client, and I felt proud of myself. But I had learned long ago that my parents would never celebrate my success without comparison or criticism. Dinner started with the usual chatter. My mother, Valeria, couldn't stop talking about Daniel's recent promotion at his corporate job, and my father, Jorge, nodded along approvingly. I tried to remain calm, sipping my wine and quietly observing. Then, my mother put down her fork, fixed her gaze on me, and said softly, "Sofia, we think it's best you step away for now." I froze. Step away? From what exactly? She avoided eye contact. From the family. For a while. We just think it's healthier. I blinked, unsure if I had heard correctly. "You're serious?" "Yes," my father said, his voice calm but firm. "We've discussed it, and we believe this is what's best for everyone." A cold knot formed in my stomach. For years, I had been the obedient, talented daughter, studious, hardworking, creative, and now they were essentially telling me to disappear, as if I were a problem to be contained. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I simply nodded. "If you truly think that's best, I'll respect your decision." But inside, something awakened. A sharp, burning anger. Not the petty frustration of my youth, but a calculated, simmering determination. That night, I left their house without looking back. 4 days, I stayed with a friend, replaying that dinner in my mind. Why now? Why after everything? Did they think I would simply break and vanish? I realized something very clearly. I wasn't going anywhere. Over the following months, I poured myself into my fashion career. I worked late-night sketching, sourcing fabrics, and overseeing production. I built connections with influencers, boutique owners, and celebrities, growing my reputation quietly but powerfully. Meanwhile, my parents appeared satisfied with their decision. They sent passive messages through Daniel, hinting they were concerned about me, that perhaps I was overreacting. I ignored them. I had a bigger plan. One evening, Daniel called me hesitantly. "Sofia, Mom wants to talk." I sighed. "About what?" They just want to make sure you're okay," he said. His tone was nervous, almost pleading, but I could sense the manipulation that had always lurked beneath his voice. I hung up. My focus was elsewhere. I was plotting a quiet, elegant comeback, one that would reclaim my power and make them realize how wrong they were to underestimate me. I began observing my parents' social habits. They thrived on status, luxury, and recognition. They loved hosting elaborate parties, flaunting their wealth, and rubbing elbows with Los Angeles' elite. I knew that direct confrontation would do nothing. Instead, I would demonstrate my success and my independence in subtle but undeniable ways. Opportunity came faster than expected. My mother was hosting a charity gala, boasting that it would feature some of the city's most influential figures. I decided to attend, not as the daughter they wanted to dismiss, but as Sofia Martinez, renowned fashion designer, representing my boutique and my brand. On the night of the gala, I arrived in a bold, custom gown of my own creation. My hair and makeup were flawless, and my confidence commanded attention without revealing my true identity to my family. I mingled with guests, discussing design trends, business opportunities, and luxury collaborations, all while maintaining a carefully guarded air of mystery. By the end of the evening, several of Los Angeles' top socialites and fashion insiders were praising my work and asking for collaborations. My parents, they didn't recognize me. They walked past, oblivious to the very daughter they had tried to push away. I realized that revenge didn't have to be loud or cruel. Sometimes, it was about reclaiming your power quietly, with elegance and intelligence. After that gala, I felt a surge of power I hadn't experienced in years. I had quietly reclaimed my place in the social and professional world, proving that my parents' attempt to sideline me had no effect. But this was only the beginning. Over the next few months, my boutique flourished. High-profile clients, celebrities, influencers, and socialites flocked to me, praising my designs and paying top dollar. I started being invited to exclusive fashion events, collaborating with renowned designers, and even receiving offers for international shows. Meanwhile, my parents continued their charade of indifference. They would casually ask Daniel if I was handling things well, not realizing I was now an unstoppable force. I watched from the sidelines, quietly observing their arrogance and underestimation. I realized that true revenge wasn't just about embarrassment. It was about changing the power dynamic completely. I didn't need to shout, yell, or confront them directly. I only needed to show them what they had missed and make them realize that they had been foolish to ever dismiss me. The opportunity presented itself sooner than I expected. My mother, Valeria, was planning a high society charity auction, boasting that it would be the highlight of the season. She insisted it be exclusive, inviting only the city's elite. I smiled to myself. This was perfect. I sent an anonymous proposal to collaborate on the gala's fashion showcase, offering to provide custom gowns for the event's featured models. My pitch was praised immediately, and within days, the organizers agreed. My parents were thrilled at the idea of having a talented young designer involved, but no one knew it was me. On the night of the gala, I arrived early, overseeing the setup of the runway and making last-minute adjustments to the models' gowns. Everything was flawless. Guests started arriving, including my parents, unaware that the designer behind the show was their very own daughter. The lights dimmed, and the show began. Models walked down the runway wearing my designs, gowns that were bold, elegant, and captivating. Every guest was in awe. Cameras flashed, social media buzzed, and whispers spread throughout the ballroom. Then, at the very end, I stepped onto the runway. The crowd gasped. The woman who had orchestrated the entire show, the creative mind behind every dress, was none other than Sofia Martinez, the daughter they had tried to exile. My parents froze. Shock and disbelief painted their faces. They hadn't seen this coming. My mother's jaw dropped. My father's confident mask shattered. I stood there, radiating elegance and poise, holding my head high. I didn't speak to them that night. I didn't need to. My success, my recognition, and the admiration of everyone in the room spoke for itself. My parents realized that their attempt to step me away had backfired spectacularly. Over the following weeks, the story of the gala spread across social media and fashion magazines. Everyone wanted to know more about the designer behind the breathtaking gowns. Soon, I became a household name in Los Angeles' fashion scene. My parents tried to reach out, sending passive messages through Daniel, asking if we could talk things over. I replied politely, but never directly addressed their attempt to sideline me. My silence became a statement louder than any words I could have spoken. By now, I had built a life independent of their approval. My boutique expanded, international clients sought my designs, and my influence grew in circles my parents could only dream of. I had turned their dismissal into motivation, their rejection into fuel for my ambition. I didn't just get revenge. I transformed their perception without breaking my own principles. I proved that success, elegance, and determination could speak louder than words. And the best part, My parents had no choice but to see me as the powerhouse I always was. The daughter they tried to push away had not only returned, she had returned stronger, more confident and untouchable. Looking back, that family dinner, the moment they told me to step away, was the catalyst I didn't know I needed. It ignited a fire inside me, one that led me to redefine myself and claim the life I deserved. I had learned that revenge isn't always about confrontation. Sometimes it's about rising above, excelling quietly, and letting your success speak for itself. My parents' choice to underestimate me became their greatest mistake. And as I continue to thrive, I know one thing for certain. No one, not even family, can dim the light of someone determined to shine. If you liked my story, please like the video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with as many people as possible. Thanks for watching.